mega, 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 mwah, 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 mwah. Love shout out to everyone. Magandang umaga, tanghali, gabi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and konbanwa to everyone. So tonight, it's going to be, ayan, dahil meron tayong one-on-one for the time being, we're going back to that place. So tonight is going to be sharing awareness, trying to understand, trying to comprehend this phenomenon called passport bros and what it is and what are the culture. And because of that, February is not just about love and Valentine's, but it's also Black History Month. So I want everyone to understand, what's surrounding about this phenomenon and as well try to understand Black culture in our special guest for tonight. So, without much further ado, guys, ayan, but before, ayan, I didn't forget you guys on the live chat, okay? So, everyone, guys, Waila me, admin ko, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ayan, of course, Brett Glasso, I do see you, of course. And, ayan, sino pa nandyan? Oh, the O Show is here too. Hoo-hoo. And, of course, thank you, guys. And if you can make it a favor, can you make a favor? Ayan, do me a favor. I mean, please share this to your community so we can all interact with each other. And again, without much further ado, please welcome my special guest for tonight. Live na live in Thailand. Please welcome Mr. What we call him, Mr. Escape Tricks.
Konnichiwa. How is everyone?
And of course, because your first time in this live stream, I usually do this with every guest of mine. So let's do this again. Please welcome, guys. Ayan, Mr. Escape Tricks. Yeah. Ayan. So welcome to, Icy Fit live stream. This is your first time. And thank you. Before every conversation we're going to have, thank you. This is a pleasure. Thank you for accepting this collaboration with me because I really, really want to understand this phenomenon and what's the better time to kind of like try to understand and share awareness behind this with you live in Thailand. So, first of all, how can you introduce yourselves to people as Escape Tricks? Who is Escape Tricks?
Escape Tricks is a very old guy. That's the first thing. Escape Tricks has been around for a very long time. My birthday was last month, so I am 46 years old now. Before that, I worked in television and radio for a long time here in America. The last place that I worked was CNN International. I worked there for a long time as well. But I decided to kind of get out of news, get out of different things, just do my own thing, start my own business. And I've always traveled the world as well. This actually gives me more time to travel the world and do what I want to in the second half, later years of my life.
Okay. So is that why you have that kind of voice? Like, what
Yes.
do you like?
Yeah, you got it. You're listening to 107.5 WGCI. Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. Because it's like, it reminds me, like, when I started listening to, it's like, it reminds me of like listening to the radio when you're in a
Mhm.
car or something like that. But, anyways, so is there any place, or is this the first time that you actually travel like outside America?
No, actually not. The first time I traveled outside of America had to be maybe around 1999. Wow, long time ago, 2000. With a young guy, me and my buddies, we used to always, we were very adventurous. We would go to different places in America, and one day we said, "Hey, why don't we go to Mexico?" And we went to Mexico. Then we went to the Dominican Republic, and we went to Brazil. So I've always tried to get out and travel, just like being here in Thailand. This is my third time here. I absolutely love Thailand.
Oh, congrats. So this is the third time. So why Thailand? Why not Philippines?
No,
Guys, because we have
yeah,
fellow Filipinos in the house. So I would assume, and I'm half Filipina. So why not Philippines?
I love my Filipinas and Filipinos. They are good too. I've actually been to the Philippines as well. Okay. The Philippines and Thailand are very close in my mind. One thing that I tell people, the nicest people in the world that I've ever met are Filipino people, and that is no lie. I have super love. Yes, I have super love for the Philippines and Filipinos as well. And by the way, I will be back there as soon as I possibly can as well. I'm thinking of both of those as a place to permanently be, and it's really, really close.
Ooh. So I guess Topher Adventure here really likes the idea. So,
Yeah.
anyways, Topher Adventure, mega love shout out to you. So the thing is like we've met through this reaction I made with Passport Bros, right? And I've never really thought that this term actually exists.
Mhm.
So when I kind of like, like, because a viewer of mine sent this video and he thought it would pick my interest and it did. But the thing is, when I was trying to understand what is passport, bro, yes, we're going here already. Okay. Guys, are you catching up? Yeah, we're going to the point, okay? Because we don't have much time. But the thing is, what piques my interest is that it's almost like it's specifically for African American, which means black men.
Mhm.
And what makes it kind of like confusing with me is like what's the difference between white men doing it versus black men doing it?
I I just think being from America, the stigma of black men traveling is far different than white men traveling. For one reason, white guys have been traveling forever here, so there's never been a big deal. They've always had Asian wives as well, from the Philippines to Thailand to China, you name it, Japanese as well. So there really wasn't a big deal about it. Me being a guy that's traveled all these years, I never even thought about, I hadn't thought, anything about traveling. I just thought it was just a natural thing until this passport bro like phenomenon. And what I say it's always been around for black guys to go out and travel. But once we started to travel, it seemed like there was some type of, dark cloud over black guys for traveling and doing the same thing that other guys were doing. We were just going around, finding ourselves in the world and discovering new things just like they were. And if you happen to find a good lady to, put on your arm and call her your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, it was just a natural thing to do. But it seems like there was some type of humongous pushback from American black women with American black guys doing this. And you did not really see this with American white women going after American white men doing this, or European or anywhere else. There wasn't. So I don't know, where that part came from of the bad stigma, but I believe that uh, our ladies in my community, they feel that they like you are our guys. You can't go anywhere and do anything. You got to be here with us. And we've more said that we wanted to explore our options as well. Women in my community have always said that they were going to explore their options. So we're just doing that as well. We just want to find that the best possible mate, that friend, that life partner that we just seem to haven't found here. So that's why we're doing our own thing.
So You answered it in a way that there's a lot of questions for me. And right now, I'm trying to pick which question would that be. But before that, guys, in the live chat, if you have any questions at all, even if it's Tagalog, any language that I could know of, please do that. You can speak Tagalog here. It's a multilingual live stream. So please interact with us as well. So, first, I decided my question. Okay. So, but anyways, just kidding aside. So, when you say American black women are angry, and I've seen this also with the instructions of that video that, like I put out, there's like, I really appreciate all of the people that interact. I've always seen this word of like American black women are angry with Passport Bro because they want to keep you, right?
Hmm.
And white
Yeah.
women, on the other hand, white men are doing this, but they're not, as we can call it, loud. So, what I'm thinking about is it because, like, is there any culture or like, like the culture itself depended on that? Because when, as an Asian, and I'm just telling this as a perspective of an Asian person. So, as an
Hmm.
Asian, I always see it as like black people usually are very animated. It's just like us, Filipino. We're all animated. Like when we talk, like I talk multiple languages, right? So when I talk Japanese, they said it's so cute, it's so feminine, they like it. When I talk
Hmm.
Tagalog, it would be like, you're so loud, keep it down. Stuff like that. So I get it. But
Hmm.
when I think about white people, I always think of them as, how do you call that? Not animated, like they choose their words kind of thing, like they don't, it's not like, like Filipinos, and they it's more of like a Japanese way when we say like Japanese talk. So they don't like confrontations, they hate that. So I wonder if there's that culture behind it, because these specific people are different. Stuff like that. I'm trying because I know in America it's so political right now, and being a live streamer, it seems like you have that responsibility to choose your words. And guys, I'm not native English speaker, so give me some slack. So what do you think about it's about the culture, like, let us understand it more.
Yeah. Well, I will. I'll tell people this, and I'll continue saying this forever. Black people from America, we have really had our culture taken from us. And what I mean by that, everyone knows about slavery and what happened with slavery. And if you haven't, of course, just go read up on it and everything. But with that happening, there was what I would call a lack of culture. Those things are taken away from you, and that's why I tell people this this phenomenon is it date back so long. It really does. So um, with all the things that have happened and that as well, I think us building our new culture, like you said, we're kind of animated. That's kind of our thing and our culture. Just trying to be you know kind of forceful with yourself because you've always had to do that when you're an African American in the culture. And what has happened is that kind of spilled over to how we do things on social media, how we do things on YouTube and TikTok. We're more boisterous, we're more loud. We're going to tell you how we feel about those things. But when you do that at the same time, that will make, we say in America, other people feel some type of way. What that means is they're not very happy about that. And Black women have not been very happy about us being boisterous about us going and finding other mates because they kind of see it as a knock on them as well. We're not really trying to knock them. We're just saying that there are better. Well, I guess that is a knock. There are options out there better. But what has happened with American culture when it comes to men and women is, women have been told that you don't need no man. You don't have to do anything for your man. And what men have been saying, in
So
America.
I
I
know
don't
that
think.
this is why I'm excited about these kinds of topics, and that's why I put back my one-on-one episodes because I do like one-on-one. But the thing
Mhm,
is, this is also, and I don't like this kind of like opinion of mine because it would be like unpopular opinion against women. But at the same time, I always had this thing about words, you know,
mhm,
like what you said earlier, you're more animated and with because of the extra social media attention. And we know as a YouTuber, if you're a YouTuber, if you're a live streamer, you know that you have to be kind of like exaggerated in a way that you can actually show because you're on camera. But at the
mhm,
same time, there's exaggeration and there's something that you have to kind of like dance between the line so you don't look stupid, as they say. So
mhm.
when this phenomenon come out, and this is the only thing that I kind of like think about phenomenon or movement coming around, is that how much of it is actually happening and how much of it is because it's having a clout or views. It gives you views. So that's kind of like what I'm trying to dance within, and at the same time with women and being, you know, like independent, like a lot of words that are pretty thrown out like in the, I don't know how to do that, like that's why I need a girlfriend like that. You know, but when, you know, like when these things happening, it's like most of the words are actually, you know, they always lost its meaning because of these exaggerations. And I think, you know, like between these verses and verses, you know, it's like exaggeration of everything. But as a, because I was like explaining this, is it a bad thing for you? You know, is it a bad thing to be called a passport bro? Or do you think of it as a positive or a negative?
I think being called a passport bro is a rite of passage for men, not just black men, of men. They should be proud to be passport bros. They should not hide that they are passport bros. They should not move in silence. They should go and do what they want to do. As long as they're not hurting anyone and taking advantage of anyone, you should be fine. Passport bros should not be at all any type of bad stigma. It's just men who want to find a better option for their life. That's it.
And also, like to follow up that, like I've seen couple of, you know, like because I'm trying to research about this. So I seen a couple of like American black women who's actually kind of like dissing or like saying something that aren't nice. And the thing
Mhm,
with me is I wonder if, you know, like those things are kind of like, is there anything behind that? Like that is what I'm more interested
mhm,
in, because it seems like to me there's more story, like there's actually like where's the anger coming from. That's what I actually ask, is because, you know, like in a culture, in a black culture, we kind of like, at least me, I kind of like get a glimpse of what they called angry black woman. There's always going to be like that. I think there's a movie about that, but I don't know if it's a parody or anything. But
mhm.
so can you get us a glimpse of what is it to be like in that culture? Like what is it really means for us to understand?
To be in the black culture can be it can be very trying at sometimes. There is there is a power struggle going on between what we would call regular black folks, and that's people that go to work, do what they're supposed to do, they go get education, and what we also call slang terms as Pookie and Ray Ray or
Mhm.
Pookisha, right? Now, a lot of people never heard of those. Those terms, Pookie and Ray Ray and Pookisha, are the ones that we see that aren't really contributing much to society. You may see this in hip hop, where you see this a lot in hip hop. A lot of those people do not represent all of black people or what black people do. So you have that struggle going on as well in the black community when you're talking about where black people want to be and what we want to do. There's, like I said, this is multifaceted. You can go over so many different things when it just comes to how passport bros evolve, what they're trying to get away from. By the way, that's what we're trying to get away from too, as well. Uh, and a myriad of other problems as well as bad attitudes, violence, uh, 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 too many single parents, mothers and fathers, too many people in prison, things of this nature. So you're trying to just get this out of your mind and away from you when you're a passport bro and you're trying to get away because of what
So it's
you
like
see.
a vacation. So,
Hmm.
but the thing is, what I'm trying to figure out is like, if supposedly this American black woman hated,
Hmm.
and they're the ones that they don't need a man,
Hmm.
they're the ones that keep saying those words. It doesn't make sense why you angry. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So, but at the
Yeah.
same time, they were talking about different aspects. Some people or some American black women, and that's what I'm trying to say. You are so loud that you don't pick your choices of words. You
Hmm.
don't get to the point. But the thing is, what I'm trying to kind of like, the problem for me is if that is true, like the grooming part, they go to there and exploit our women in Asia. And that
Yeah.
is actually a problem. But the thing is, if you're gonna majority, like every one of passport bros are like this, then that
Hmm.
I have problem with. So for you, like there is actually people, black or white, going to a different country. Do you really not expect, but do you see yourself as having a partner that comes from another culture and another country?
Oh yes, I would definitely say that I could see that. Definitely dated Asian women before, even in America. So I definitely could see that. That's no problem with black guys. We have for a while dated outside of our race. We really don't have a problem with anyone. We just say, hey, who's ever best for us, we're best for them. We're gonna go with it. So we don't really have a problem with that. With black women and the loudness, what is not understood, what passport bros can't understand is if you say you don't want a man and you don't need a man, then why are you looking for this man with $100,000, $200,000 a year? This 6'2" guy, this guy with we'll just say big world, six pack abs and all this. If you don't need a man, why are you looking for a man with all of these things to support you? To support you if you don't need a man. If you don't need one, you don't need a man to support you. So why are you even looking for these things? That is, I think it's disingenuous by a lot of women in my country to say that they don't need a man, don't want a man, but they're always looking for a man that has this absorbent amount of money to take care of them so they don't have to work. That's kind of hypocrisy in its fullest if I've never seen it before.
So I'm gonna layer this up, okay? Because I really want to get to the heart of the, like what I wanted to point in. So, tick, 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 tick. So in one on one, I like playing devil's advocate because I love conversation. And when I say conversation, it means two-way street. Not
Mhm.
because you want to be right, you want to be wrong. It's not about that. It's just about trying to express your opinions and trying for the viewers to find out for themselves what are good for them. That is the heart of the one-on-one. So, when it comes to women, let's just go first with women.
Mhm.
I do agree with a lot of you guys that keep saying when they say like, I want to be like independent woman, I think it's over exaggerated. Like the meaning of the word independent woman has lost its meaning. It's overblown, and
Yes.
the thing is, with that said, guys as well feels to me like also have expectations that are not adding up. So for me in this dating lifestyle, and I know I'm out of the dating lifestyle, but I'm just saying, I do understand, guys. You're so slow, guys. So, anyways, Tinay and Bem Bem, and of course, board vlogger. Thank you for coming, Ayan. Thank you, Tinay and Bem. What I'm saying is, so all of this with the expectations, how much of the expectations of each and everyone in America have changed throughout the years? And how much of it is being kind of like self denial? Like, those little things, how
Yeah.
much it is really going on. And this is what I'm like trying to figure out, if it's just because this is what you're so stuck up with and you don't want to change your ways, you want your expectation, but it doesn't really add up on what you are going to offer. How much do you think are these factors actually relates to being a passport bros and American black women that are hating on passport bros?
Well, I think that most people, well, I wouldn't even say most, there are some that have a very uh, blown out of proportion expectation of what their partner should be, men and women. And I'll say this, I am Generation X, all right? My grandfather and grandmother, they were probably the last of our generation where you saw people married at a very high rate. At one time, Black people were the most married in America, right? So my grandmother, grandfather, uncles, aunts, they all died married. What started to happen over the years is you saw a decrease in that marriage, but you because you saw an increase in a lot of television, then internet, social media, Oprah, Maury Povich, Jerry Springer. These are all television shows where people got on here and said, "Hey, you don't need a man. You need to do this, 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 and that." Men never really had that type of thing. It would have been canceled even in the 1980s. So what you have now is you have ridiculous expectations, especially with social media, with Brazilian butt lifts, augmentations, being able to see, rich people with money on the internet, flashing it, driving fancy cars, and everything like that. So you have an unrealistic expectation by both. This is true. I know men to this day who they want a woman with the smallest waist and the biggest backside that they can possibly find. That's not really contingent on
There
a
is
good.
zero.
Yeah, exactly. That's not really contingent on a big lady.
See, guys, no offense meant, guys, but I've always said this. If you're, and I'm not laughing to belittle you guys, I'm just trying to like slap the shit out of you. No, guys, I'm kidding. But the thing is, you have to be realistic, guys. I know it sucks. I know it's unfair, but there are
Yep.
other things that you can get better at. And the thing is, this is for motivating you guys. There are people and there are women out there that are not all about face, all about character, all
Yep.
about money, financial. There are actually women out there that opt for a really nice dude, So you just have to find it and switch to those kinds of ladies, to find for.
Can I say this as well? Look, guys that are out there as well that are passport bros, anyone who's watching this, or any guy in particular ways, we have to be realistic with ourselves. Okay, if you're a little guy and you're maybe overweight, you may not be able to get a supermodel. You're not really not really in that category. What you're trying to do is you're trying to find somebody who is similar, congruent to you in your ways of thinking, lifestyle, eating, dating, whatever it may be. So you have to be realistic with that. That's the one thing that I try to tell people when you come over here and say, "Hey, I'm about a good old 5 on the Richter scale of looks, so I'm okay with a 5 as well." So you
Yeah.
have to be able to be realistic with yourself. You'll find a good man or woman out there, but realistic expectations, you have to have those. And in America, that is the place of non-realistic expectations. No one
Okay.
believes in a
So
5.
I have to disagree with that. The thing is, I don't think it's just for America. There's a lot of countries that are very, and I'm not throwing this word just to throw it out, but there are narcissistic people out there, not just
Oh yeah.
American. There are. So, but not to discourage every single people out there. It's okay to dream, because who knows? You might be a really good person and somebody would just fall for you and they're a 10. That happens, but
Always a
just be
possibility.
realistic. There's
It's
always a
not.
but, guys. There's always a but. So, and also when we talk about expectations, I wonder how much of it is what you consumed daily. Because I'm pretty sure all of us are so guilty when we wake up the first moment your eyes open, you are grabbing your cell phone, looking what's up. So the thing is, how much of it do you think the expectations, that are kind of like growing? And because it's social media and internet, it's all over the place. Everyone has opinions. Everyone can say whatever they wanted to say without repercussion. How much of it do you think this so called angry black woman and so called passport bros kind of like clashed on with each other?
um well, when it comes to social media, well, one thing I tell people about social media is don't listen to people on social media. Don't even listen to me. Okay. You got better people in your life to listen to, mother, father, people who like really know stuff. So don't listen to people on
But
social
what if
media.
they don't like their mother and father?
But
Who
your
are they
uncle,
going to listen to?
you can find someone that you can believe in a little
Like
bit
me,
more.
guys.
Like
Please
it, like
listen to me, guys.
listen to Icy. That's it. You can listen to her. You can listen to me sometimes, maybe. But when it comes to the angry black woman, and I will tell you this: if you've been watching TikTok, you know it's true. A lot of times
I do.
people say that no, this is not true. It was stigma, whatever. You've seen a lot of them. A lot of guys in the community have to deal with that. They don't want to deal with that. But that is a product of social media. There's a rapper here named Glorilla, right? It's a female rapper. This
Mhm.
lady, this young woman, she has the doctrine that a lot of younger women live by. Drink a lot, smoke a lot, get a lot of, you know, all that, steal guys' money, drug them, all kind of weird and crazy stuff. And you have people who believe these celebrities and these social media people. There's two women on social media. They're called the famous twins, black young ladies, right? They get in all kind of trouble. They're in jail right now. This is probably like the fourth time they've actually got their stepfather killed. They actually got like a baby killed by accidentally shooting off a gun, shot another girl. These women, they live by what they see on social media, on YouTube. These rappers and everything else. These guys too. I don't want to put them out there like they're not doing it too, them as well. But what has happened, especially in the last 10 to 15 years, and I saw it just by working in news, that young women in America, especially, are being led astray by social media. And now anything and everything that you would consider of value and valuable and honorable is not honorable or valuable at all to the new generation. That's why you have this happening as well. You see a lot of younger guys that are passport bros now going overseas, 23 years old, like Austin, and 24. I met another guy, he was about 22, 21 as well, trying to get out of what he's seen back at home.
So the thing is, like, everyone likes to blame social media, right? Everyone wants to blame the internet and the world where we live in. I know we have to adjust on time. I know that. But at the same time, I really think, and I have kind of like different views about this because I do see social media. I do have social media, but it doesn't make my life revolve around it. And the thing is, when you think about, like, in America, like there's a lot of like how you say it as like they're leading girls or women in America on social media, their values. But at the same time, where are their parents? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't think it's the social media problem. I think it's a home problem.
Oh yeah,
So
oh
that's
yeah.
why I really like to talk about passport bros and black culture and why is this, because I'm pretty sure it'll branch out to the real root of the problem. And there's a lot.
Yeah, and that's why I keep like in the video that I did, I said this is a multifaceted problem. That is one of the problems. Like I said before, my grandparents, my uncles and aunts from that generation, they all were married. They all lived and died married for 40, 50 years, right? I didn't start seeing like more single mothers, more guys over here, girls over here until my mother's generation. My mother was married before, before I was born, but her friends and cousins and everyone else wasn't. So now you have where we had about a 75, 80% marriage rate. Now it's down to about 25%. And with that, that means that there aren't two people in that household really watching these kids. That's why it's multifaceted. They keep doing the same thing. The next generation is doing what the other generation taught them, and so forth and so on. When you don't really have two people, two parents, two people watching out for you during life, it has been proven statistically that you're probably in big trouble. Now, this ain't got nothing to do with, knocking single mothers or anything like that. I tell people all the time, I'm a single father, right? I take care of my daughter. I take care of her very well. She's with her grandma now while I'm gone. But
That's a relief. I wonder if she's with you. Oh my God.
no,
Okay. Nothing. Just kidding.
but it's been statistically shown that two parents are better. You got a 500% chance, more of a chance to go to jail if you're just raised by a single mother. But a lot of people don't know this. If you're raised by a single father, your chances are about the same as being raised by a single mother. I mean, by a mother and father in the household. Your the expectations of you getting in trouble and going to jail aren't high. It's still about the same with two parents. I think that's because of men's authority in the house. So you have a lot of
Okay.
kids grow
So
up without their parents, without their father.
I'm sorry to cut you off in that part because I don't want to lose this thought.
Mhm.
When you say about parenting, and I've been wanting to talk about parenting and stuff like that, but I think this is perfect timing to ask these questions. I will never understand how it is to grow up in a black culture and a black family, right? But at the
Mhm.
same time, I think when it comes to family values and, like these types of nurturing
Mhm.
conversation, I think I am appropriate to say something. So, one of the things that I really feel like is like the discussion about single mother, single father, and of course, divorced, coming from a divorced family. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is like, you are a child at a point, you become an adult at a point, Everything now has consequences. Everything has, you have to be accountable for things. You have to choose what is better for you. But the thing is, it's almost like when things goes wrong, it's so easy to blame, well, it's the, because he comes from a single father or a single
Hmm.
mother. It's so easy to do that. But at the same
Yeah,
time, you're also an adult. I mean, I can
yeah.
understand that if you're a
Mhm.
child. But once you're adult and you cannot pass these kinds of traumas, as they say, and I know it needs time, it needs progress, and there's a lot of people you can reach out to. And that's what I'm saying. How much part of it is in the Black culture itself? Just, you know, how much of it is well much informed, like the information that you can do these things,
Yeah.
based on like before and after, because you keep saying like your older generation still together as, and that's how much of it is correlated to being better as a person in America.
Well, see, that's the other problem in America. You're not really taught to be a better person in America. You are taught to get the bag at any means necessary, to step on people if you need to. America is a very cutthroat place. I mean, you could just see that by crime rates. Like right now, I'm in Bangkok, crime rates nowhere near as high as New York City, because people in New York City will bash your head in over $5. So there's a difference in what you are taught, that what is value, what is something that you should be doing compared to something you should not be doing. One of those reasons is that there is no net, safety net for kids to go talk to someone other than their parents, because people in America are so individual. There is no culture or a community that you talk to the person down the street or across the street. We don't do that anymore. Like I said, when I was a kid with my grandparents, I knew Miss Margie next door. I went to her funeral and died just and cried just like I did for my grandmother. That's how I felt about her. Mr. Sellers across the street and Mrs. Johnson. You don't have that now. People are pretty much alone. So when they have these thoughts of doing things, they don't really have anyone to turn to in America to talk to, because the next person that you turn to is probably thinking the same thing you're thinking. So that's the problem. No one to tell people what is good or bad really in America. What I say this all the time, people's new mother and father is social media in America. That's the truth.
No, the thing is, that's very true. I've seen it. It's not just in America. I think, well, there's two countries that I've visited and seen. In Japan, same thing. In the Philippines, way same thing. Like, I really feel that a lot of parents, and I'm trying not to talk to parents, because sometimes when you talk to parents, like, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this, it's so easy for them to, no, 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 you don't know. But the thing is, what I'm just trying to tell is, if there's it's a hard job to be a parent. It really is. And I'm pretty sure, like, based on the information that I gathered throughout the years when it comes to like racism in America, it's much harder for a family to kind of like be successful if you come from a Black community rather than, you know. So I think that's one of the things that I feel like, as a, like, at least had a glimpse of American culture. I think it's part for me to share this information with my fellow Filipinos and Japanese, how it is like. So there's one question that, a lot of Filipino, and I think for me, I think this is very, very important to kind of like share awareness out there, is the N word. There's a
Hmm.
lot of my fellow Filipinos that doesn't know the meaning behind this. And
Yes.
sometimes I can still hear them when I go to
Yeah.
the Philippines. They'll throw it out like that because
Yeah.
all the music and all. But they didn't know you're not supposed to say that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No,
Mhm.
no, no, no. If you're not Black, you're not allowed to say it. So Can you explain kind of like briefly in a way that as Asian could understand why is it a no word?
Okay, no problem. The N word with ER on the end, there's two ways you can say it. One is with ER on the end, the other is with an A on the end. The original word is the one with the ER on the end. That word goes all the way back to slavery. That was what a slave master or one of the overseers would call you when you had to go from one place to another. Hey, N word, get over there, pick that cotton, go get those melons, whatever it may be, right? So that was not a word of endearing. What Black people have tried to do is that make that a word of endearment, try to give the word power or meaning, right? The N word. And I've been just as guilty as anybody else of saying that because you've heard it so much growing up. Now I don't use it anymore, and I tell other people not to use it as well because it really doesn't help anything at this point. Uh, Putting it in rap music and stuff like that in the culture, you're going to hear that word a lot. But I would warn other people never to say the word, and especially not to go to America or any Western country and say it. You might get into a bout of fisticuffs with people because of their word, even if you said it with the A on the end. It has been made a word of endearment, but it's really not. I say this: if everyone can't say it, then we probably shouldn't be saying it anyway. So for everyone out there that hears it in words, please just beep that part out and don't say it. Don't say it. It goes all the way back to slavery. Leave it alone.
Yes, because it's like, and the thing with me is like, I've learned this the hard way. Like, this is probably one of the moments that I was so embarrassed to myself
Yeah,
that I didn't know the
yeah,
meaning or like, because, and the thing is, probably some people would give me a loophole because I'm
yeah,
Asian.
yeah.
But at
We
the
give you a
same time, for me, it's not innocence is not a reason for you to do things, just to say it. But
yeah,
just to kind of like share awareness, guys, if you're not black, you
yeah,
cannot say that word. And don't even complain about it. Just don't. Because it's no. Okay? No.
yeah,
If your parents didn't say you no, I'll say you no. No. Okay?
yeah.
Anyways, so before I forgot, I did the question, guys. I see. Is there an offensive word for Japanese people? There is like a lot of offensive word, of course. A lot of countries have a lot of defensive words. Each and every country has that. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I'm not gonna say it because it's an offensive word. Okay,
Yeah.
guys.
We're in the
So
no zone. No.
yes, yes. So earlier we're talking about this independent woman and the social media surrounding it. So this is my beef with being the word independent woman, right? When you say independent woman, I just really feel like it's overblown. Because for me, I can say I'm independent in a way that, like if my husband left me, I'm good. Like I'm not going to be bankrupt or anything. That is an independent woman for me. Like you can get yours together kind of thing. But when it comes to America, can you explain to us how kind of like difference and a big change is it right now for a lot of women who kind of like share awareness of how independent women should be?
Well, independent power has been around for a minute in America. You had first wave feminism, second wave feminism, which, by the way, I have no problem with. All it is telling that women can have the same job as men. Women can go out and be the president if they want to. They can work wherever they want to, which is fine. What has happened over the years with third or even I think they call it fourth wave feminism now is it's not just uh, you can do these things, that you are now so independent because of doing these things that you don't need a man. You've seen a lot of this kind of empowerment in music. You've heard everything from Independent Woman by Destiny's Child and Beyonce, and a myriad of other songs that's been out on the radio here and all over the world praising independence of women. Cardi B has a I don't cook, I don't clean, but I can still get this ring. You know, all this type of silly
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
She had to kind of back off that because her husband had on TikTok and she was sweeping up and cleaning, but she said she don't do it. A lot of those things have been fed by women. Beyonce had a album Lemonade, and it was all about supposedly the breakup of her and her husband, Jay-Z at the time, who reportedly, we still don't know, cheated on her, right? All these women in America went out and ditched their men, right? Just because this lady put out this song and this album of Lemonade. But guess what? She's still with her man. She never got rid of him. She knew better. So those are the things you have. You have so many people in so many different areas telling women about this independence, and a lot of them don't even practice what they preach on the independent circuit. They're not doing it. They're just saying it because it makes money. Because a lot of ladies here love to hear these things. It's really about what makes women feel good in this country compared to what is good for you, what is actually logical for you. That's why you have the problem with the independent woman in America.
So when it comes to passport bros, on the other end, I've always heard of like they wanted it to be traditional, right?
Hmm.
And I've talked about this before. And there's actually, before we go through this conversation, there's something that I kind of wanted to show you. Because, guys, if you didn't see yet, like he had a reaction to my React video. So, like Nightbot is dropping his link. And also, you can see his link in the description down below. Like, watch that one so you can understand more and relate more on this topic. But you talk about traditional woman. And the thing with the traditional woman is like, there's this thing about, like, I saw this after the fact that you were saying that what I reacted the second time, the playback channel, there's one thing that I missed that I should have watched. And the thing is, I think that's why other people, when they do react videos, they watch it first and then they react because you kind of wanted to, like, kind of like, like do understand the little intricacies. But I'm going to show you something and let me know what you think about this, guys. Okay. So we're talking about traditional women here. And this is a small clip with playback. And, like the reaction video I did. And please do watch this as well, Escape Tricks. Let's see if I can do this.
My new girl right here.
That face. That face. Did you see that face? It's like, how did I miss that? So it's like, I've seen this, and you told me about, like, try to kind of like dig deep into it, passport bros. And I noticed there are other people that actually says like these two people are going to be future passport bros. And then when
Yeah,
I was watching it, I see that kind of face that he did. Like
yeah.
like when they're kissing and he was like, I want that. It's kind of like caught on the camera. So, I just don't like that they tease you guys. I think, and that's one of the reasons that a lot of Filipina and Asian women are speaking out of this is because it's not really nice to tease people of going or like going to places or country just because they thought they'll have better chances over there. And I don't think there's any problem with that. With that said, with Passport Bros, what really in your bubble, because I know you spent more with, like people who goes out of the country and find the partner they're looking for. What is traditional woman for you guys? Like, what does it really means to be a traditional woman? Because then it collaborates with throwing of misogynist or the word misogynists. So
Yeah.
explain that to us.
Well, a lot of people think when we say traditional, it means that you're only supposed to be in the kitchen cooking me something all day, barefoot and pregnant with children all day. That is not what it means. It doesn't mean that at all. Traditional just means traditional roles in your household. The man does protect and provide. He does those things that he's always supposed to do. That's what men are supposed to do, right? And the woman, of course, she's there to support him with decisions that he makes about the family. Uh, Help, of course, she's ahead of rearing the children and things of that nature. But in today's world, if she wants to go out and have a job and work as well and do the things she needs to do, great, she can do that as well. Because today we definitely have a different type of world. So you can't just assume that people are gonna, you know, be at home all day with the kids. So we don't mean that in a traditional way. We don't even mean traditions of a country. We just mean the traditional values, standards that men and women have had for centuries when it comes to their home and how the home is managed. Very simple. It is not a lot to what we mean with traditional. We just don't want any turmoil in the house. What you have a lot of times in America is you have two people that want to be in charge of everything all the time in the home. That is one big factor that you see with the independent woman. She's so into what she does at work. She's so into her, boss babe and things of that nature that she brings boss babe home to the man, and the man's like, "What the heck? Get out of here with that! I don't want to hear all that. Keep that at the workplace." So that's what we mean by traditional. Just keeping traditional roles within the home.
So, 100% true is asking, does he feel that American women are misled?
Definitely. Look, the statistics show why this is happening. Women in America, it might be all around the world, but I'm just talking the stats that I've seen and I've looked at and studied. They spend a lot of money. All right. So when they spend a lot of money on these different things, material things, whatever else that they buy, the people in America who are in charge are going to make sure that they put out these type of advertisements that, hey, uh, you don't need a man. You can do this all on your own. By the way, you can buy this luxury car, these automobiles, these red bottom shoes, these Gucci and everything else. You can buy all this and you can be the diva that you've always been by yourself. So you have a lot of different entities in America who want to feed women this because it lines their pockets in America. It's not really about what's best for Americans or American women. It's about what's best for these people at the top and how much money they can make.
Oh. So we have one black man here from Britain or like British from UK. He was saying 100% she secretly wants a dorking. What do you
Yeah,
mean? Okay.
yeah.
So they're trolling me right now. Icy seems obsessed with black culture. I'm pretty sure you dreamt about that. You wish.
That's
You
what it is.
guys wish I do have. You guys wish. I knew you would. I had a practice session for a Tekken tournament, world tournament, just finished with my teammates. Good luck with that for you, Black Gamer. And
Kazuya,
so,
Kazuya machine.
yeah.
That's my favorite.
So, and the thing is, like, I understand how it is, but this is also one of my point of views when it comes to dating, relationships, and all of that. I wonder how much of this, the loud voices, the people that are loud on both sides, passport bros that are keeping negative light on it, and then basically American black women that are giving light and exaggerating all of this stuff. I wonder how much of this are kind of like when it comes to dating and relationship, how much of these are your own choices? You know, because I feel like in life, when you come to a certain path and you're on a bubble, as they say, you only see things you want to see. You don't
Mhm.
really look into other stuff because it is out of your comfort zone. So when people say something like all guys are bad, maybe
Yeah.
the ones you deal with, all
Yeah.
black women are baby mamas and they want all of this and they're all angry. It's like, I would disagree with that, even as much as how much you present it to me, because that's not all black women. I don't think so. You know,
No.
maybe for like kind of like maybe for you or the person that's saying is because that's your bubble. And the same
Yeah.
thing with dating. Sometimes in our woman world, sometimes it's a thing or a stereotype that big women are going for bad guys. You know, it's kind of like their cycle. And until they broke their cycle, then they can be happy. So, how
Yeah.
much of it do you think is your own bubble that you're trying to achieve, even though it's not really for you?
I think that, especially where I come from, um, the decisions that you make can definitely have a detrimental effect on your relationship, your lifestyle over the long run. One of the big things in the black community is, like I said before about Pookie and Ray Ray, we have a lot of women who like a lot of, I mean, not just bad boys, I mean like bad boys, like killers, drug dealers, uh, people who finesse, scammers. We have a lot of that going on. So you have these type of women who complain about men, but they go with these type of men. You can't really bash all men if you're not picking good men in the first place, right? I say that as far
Same
for men
goes
as
for men.
yeah, yeah, it goes for men as well. You cannot think that you're this woman who has all these outside beautiful assets, but she's into doing dirt, scamming, bad checks, and things like that. She's probably not going to be good for you. I met a young guy a while back. We're not going to get too much into his girlfriend and stuff, but she had all the red flags of having being a bad mate, and it almost cost him his life being with her. This was somebody who he considered his girlfriend that he had been with for a while. So yes, that has a very big effect on who you actually choose. And right now, we like to choose too much. I'm not going to say all, too much the wrong type of people. Now there are good women out here, good black women out here. Shout out to Shez Sade, Crimson Cure, Riva TV. These are all black women that I watch on the internet, on YouTube. That's in the black manosphere. Uh, Chantel Simone, Gail, all these women are quality women, virtuous value, quality women that men will want. And by the way, they're all taken. They're all taken. It's just it's not enough of them. It's not enough.
And I think that's where the leftover comes from. And it's like, you know, like the thing is, love Crimson Cure. Speak,
Yeah.
brother. I guess you have a fan here. Okay. So the thing is, it's like, you know, like when it comes to these kinds of conversation and opinions, and everyone has to share their opinions, of course, it becomes such like a fight over who's right and who's wrong, which
Mhm.
is kind of like my pet peeve. I've
Yeah.
been like that before, but I'm leaning more on like, I want to learn more. I want to understand more because I think that's purpose of life is to kind of like get better as time passes by. But the thing is, it just really feels like a lot of people just really stick with their comfort zone. And
Mhm.
when things goes wrong, rather than admit to themselves, they they made a wrong decision, or at least be accountable for the choices they've made, it's so easy for a lot of people to blame the people outside of them. Like maybe I am left over because you girls or guys don't want me. Or like, I'm single because nobody is around to like. Maybe it's because of your expectations. It's not, and the people that you go for. And you're not trying to go for like different ones outside of your comfort zone. Do you think that's also happening, not just, like in a black, like black community, but also in a, or there's more to black community that is doing that kind of stuff?
Well, I will say this, that it is this problem is not just in the black community. It is just magnified in the black community. You see it across the board in America. The problem is where I come from in America, there is a lack of self accountability for the things that happen to you in your life. People here in the States, especially, it's always someone else's fault. Even when they choose the guy with warrants and probation, or they choose the woman that they knew scammed four other guys. There's no self accountability for people and their choices here. It's always someone else's uh, misdeeds that led them down the path that they have, right? So you don't have anyone that wants to accept anything that they've actually done. As a passport bro, I tell people you have to be accountable for yourself and your actions and what you do, especially with traveling the world. I try to put on my best foot forward when I'm out in other countries, respecting people, respecting culture, respecting men and women, and not treading on anybody at all when we're out here. And that's what you get with a lot of passport bro. There are a lot of good guys out here who are just out here living their life and trying to be the best person that they can be. And they're not out here hurting anyone. We said it before, there are always going to be bad people that travel the world and do everything. And we can't put everybody in that category with these guys. Some people have bad intentions when they go out, but for the most part, guys that are going out to these other countries, they are just trying to live their life and be positive wherever they're going.
Yeah, and I bet you, like, there's a lot, like, it's not everything is like, like roses and petals. I mean, there's probably instances like there are, like really bad, people that go and find someone to fool around in other country. I mean, I get that. There's probably bad apples, but to say that, black women saying that this is what you guys are doing, I think it's just unfair. And at the same time, when I watch, like black men as well dissing on their black women, it's the same thing for me. It's like
Mhm,
these are two groups of over exaggerated people, that
mhm,
the real ones that are doing, like average normal, this has been happening way back before, they're just being quiet because they're living the best life, that life can offer. But these two groups that are, that you see on social media are the ones that are actually just making something about it, because I think that's where I'm coming from. This phenomenon is, it's
mhm.
just a cloud thing. Like
Well,
this is normal for me.
I,
This is
I, I will
very normal.
I will say this. A lot of the guys that are out here traveling, we find it very hypocritical that women, especially from our culture, would say anything about us, and that's because they have been traveling to places like Bahamas and Jamaica for years, doing exactly what they said we've been doing, and they've been doing it before us. It's something that's called rent-a-dreads, all right? That's when you can go to a place like Jamaica and you can go get you a man over there and pay for him, and he'll do his duties for you. They've been doing that, and we know this for a fact for decades. There's an actual movie named Stella Got a Groove Back, right? It's about a woman who goes to Jamaica, finds this young man, and gets her groove back. We'll just put it like that. That is actually based off a real book by a woman named Terry McMillan, black woman, who went to Jamaica and met this young, poor black Jamaican guy, right? And brought him back to the States and married him. All over, when that book was made and that movie was made, there was nothing but claps and accolades. You go, girls, from the community, from the black community, and from the sisterhood in America in a total, right? No one said anything about it, but that's exactly the same thing that they say that we're doing, and they made a book out of it, and they praised that book. So our thing is, if you're doing that, and there's plenty of videos you can find, especially on TikTok, with them going over there with Jamaican guys, and a lot of women going over to Gambia in Africa as well, doing the same thing, where the Gambian authorities told them, hey, you guys better stop coming over here. We're going to arrest you. They've been doing this same thing that supposedly we've been doing, except we know they've been doing it for sure because there's videos and books proving that they do it.
And that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to figure out. This movement or phenomenon is just, it's not really the problem, isn't it? It's not really the problem. This is just kind of like noise, a background
Yep.
noise, they say. This is
Mhm.
just the root of one of the problems that I think when it comes to dating, when it comes to relationship, being better in your life, it really needs to have a conversation, because I think it's just, bitter versus bitter, like how I see it from the outside, and I'm not dissing you
No.
as a person, because you're supposed to be like, when you say, because this is what it meant, right? Passport bros are African American that are going to another country. So if you're African American, you go to another country, you're a passport bro. But I'm not
Mhm.
talking about that particular. I'm talking about this whole movement of who are making this such a big deal,
Yeah.
are for me just noise. The root
Yeah.
of the problem is not being, it's not being talked about. It's not being straightened up. And that's why I kind of wanted to talk about this and stuff like that. So we're going to the live chat because they're getting noisy over there. Ayan, they have question for you. Ayan. So we're gonna find it. Okay. So when did you realize things weren't working out between you and American woman?
I will say this. Like I said, I have a daughter, so it's pretty obviously that I can get some American women. Um, I found out went on about my fifth foodie date, and that is where women in America would go out with you just to get something to eat, and then they'll do what's called ghosting, ghost your butt, right? And I said, man, this is
Ooh.
crazy. I'm like, why are people just doing this for food? So it was just,
Okay.
yeah, it was just so things that were so petty that a lot of guys in America don't want to date just because of that, just because of the foodie. They'll tell you that they want a $200 plus, date, eat all this food, and then like block you, don't talk to you. So once that happened, like 3 or 4 times, I was like, hey, you know what? I think I'm
Okay.
just gonna do something else.
Well, the thing is with that, it's a good story, by the way. But I've heard this a lot. Like, if you kind of like watch American and, like
Mhm.
the stuff they do and they kind of like rant on internet, I've heard this many, many times. And I've seen it kind of like in a different light now. Cause back in the day, like I do kind of that. You go to
Yeah.
club, cause I
Mhm.
love clubbing. I go to a club and I know guys buy drinks.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
that's
don't
what.
need to pay. You know what I'm saying? It's a freebies. Who doesn't want freebies, guys. So the
Hey,
thing
I'll tell
for me is like, if you give it,
you.
thank you, right? But I didn't see it in a way where guys actually think more into that. Like they're buying you drinks to something else. But at the same time, I think, like there's different mentalities between these things. And when you're saying something like, like there are girls in America that are actually going out on a date with you to have a freebie for a
Mhm.
dinner and then ghost you. For me, it's doable. It's possible. But if there's a woman, in my point of view, if I'm a man and a woman is doing that with me, I'm gonna be happier that I have to dump his ass. You know what I'm saying? I won't be
Yeah.
bitter about it. I wouldn't take it on other women that all women are like that. I won't think of it as like that. So I think whenever things goes wrong, there's always two sides of the story. And the
Yeah.
thing is, I get it, guys. And I think why Japan doesn't have problems with that kind of thing is because we make it half. When
Yeah.
we date, when we go to date, when we go to a movie, everything is half, even though we're dating. It doesn't exist in Japan. I don't know now, but back in the day when I'm dating, guys.
That's why I
So and
advocate.
also
I
go ahead.
advocate for in America to just being honest, not to buy any woman any drinks ever in a club. Don't do it. Um, find you need to vet very very hard in America because you are going to be the one who pays for them. That's why I tell guys as well to keep your dates to a minimum. You have to, or you'll be out of tons of money from people cutting and running. But never buy. I would never
No,
buy a
and the
woman a drink.
thing is, I'm not even going further than that. Like I
Mhm.
would say this: if you have a budget, if you want to have some good time, you'll approach that. I mean, if I have money and I'm gonna go and out and about, I would have a budget, right? This is my budget for tonight. Now, you want to pay some ladies' drink? Why not? Because, maybe it's a chance someone would like me, and they would stick around. It's a good company, right? So the thing is, just don't get bitter about it. Like, if you do something, if you have a choice, you want to give someone a drink, then don't be bitter if it's not reciprocated. I think it's just expectations of each and every one of us that makes us really bitter. Stop being bitter, guys. No, the thing is, it's okay to be bitter, guys. It's okay. It's your feelings. All feelings are valid, but don't revolve your life with a particular, same scenario that are happening in your life. Maybe it's your fault. No, I'm just trolling around. Hey, you have to. Maybe if something is not going right with your life, you know what? The problem is you. You have to choose something else. You have to find something else. I think that's really the problem. Anyways, I add. So there's also another one in here. And one of them are actually like, oh, Yaya is here. I literally just came from Escape Tricks video and had been thinking it'd be cool for you two to call up. Only to see this live in my recommendations. Oh, thank you, Yaya. Welcome to Icy Feet live stream. Thank you so much for being here. And guys, to all, Ayan, if you're not connected yet to Escape Tricks, guys, I'm pretty sure my Nightbot is dropping its link. And if it's not dropped, you can actually see it in the description box down below. Okay. Thank you, Yaya, Ayan. I hope I pronounced her name or his name right. Ayun. And it's a complex issue, I see, mixed with slavery, racism, social media, and government assistance. It's a big topic. Exactly, Ayan. That's sad they did him wrong. And yeah, so they're really, really are, there are a lot of people. So why is it always the man's fault? Do you think like that? Do you think that it's always a man's fault?
Well, in America, it's been put that way that it's never the woman's fault. It's always the man's fault. You go to divorce court, it's your fault. You're gonna have to give your house up. You're probably gonna have to give spousal support, child support as well. It doesn't matter if you cheated or she cheated; she still wins in those situations. So it's always your fault. Men know that our accountability, we have to be held accountable in America, and our women do not have to be held accountable in America. If they go to court for cheating, they would still get everything that they got, regardless if they cheated or not. So it's a win-win for them. So a lot of guys are just opting out of that. They're like, you know what? Why would I even get into a bad contract that doesn't benefit me at all? So guys are just stepping away from that.
And also, Dwayne Frierson is here, and tell her I had to tell her. That's
See, there
Dwayne Pearson. Yeah, welcome to Icy Fit live stream. Thank you, guys. So, so another thing that I wanted to ask you about is like when it comes to like black culture, is there anything of kind of like particular, like you think that is very, very rooted in black culture when it comes to dating, when it comes to family, when it comes to marriage relationships? Is there something that you think that a lot of other races will never understand? But can you please explain it to us if there is one?
there is. It's something called game. All right. Shout out to the brother Dennis Sperling as well, who's on YouTube. He talks about this all the time. And game is pretty much being able to go up to a woman and tell her everything that she wants to hear, and that woman accepting everything that she wants to hear, regardless if it's the truth or not. Being very untruthful, spitting game is a big thing in the community, right? Spitting game. It goes all the way back to the 60s, 70s with what were called black exploit movies, right? These were some of the first movies by black people. Before that, we had a lot of empowerment movies. Then we started having movies about, I'm just trying to be as PG as possible, the pimp game and things of that nature. The underworld, we'll just call it the underworld, where guys were doing things. This came off of the 60s with all the free love and things of that nature, where some people say, hey, if it's going to be free love, why let it be free? Why don't you go ahead and let somebody pay for it? So we have this culture of this game spitting game culture, and not actually telling the truth with each other, and women not liking guys who don't have what's called game, being able to talk to them and woo them off the feet with all this fantastic um, ridiculousness with words. So yeah, that is a big thing in the black community, spitting game. Ask any black guy about it. I can't hear you.
When they hello,
No, I can hear you now.
okay, I'm sorry, guys. I think it's getting plugged out. Okay, so I think I get a little glimpse because I've always hear about this when they saying like he doesn't have game, bro. He doesn't have
Yeah,
game. So I
yeah,
kind of like understand that meaning. So in the Philippines, we call them, I guess, pick up lines.
yeah.
When you're trying to like get girls. But
Hmm.
this is actually contradictory when I think, and that's why sometimes I had unpopular opinions when it comes to us women, because I feel like women would hate me when I say stuff like this. But the thing is, sometimes one of my pet peeve with being a woman and surrounded with women, not that I'm saying I don't love them, guys. Don't throw my words or like don't put words in my mouth, okay? So, what I'm saying is they want game, which if I could understand it is how you approach women, right? And usually these are like, the playboys. It's
Hmm.
almost stereotypical. It's like that. It's like, that's a playboy. And the thing is, when they're in a relationship, when a woman in a relationship, then they'll complain about like, why don't you show me? But there's words. I thought he has game, but what's the problem? And this is the thing with women that I feel like when it comes to passport bros, that's why I empathize if they're doing what they're really doing for finding a partner and not the other, like the negative ones, is like when it comes to like women telling they want, six-figure man or like rich and stuff like that, handsome and stuff like that. Don't they understand the stereotypical of the risk of having a man like that? You probably don't want that. So the thing is, at least in my opinion, growing up in the Philippines, when a man is rich, popular, famous, and super handsome, there's always a chance of 100% there's a lot of side bibi. Yeah, bibi, boo boo. So the thing is, what I'm saying is, if you're okay with that, then go ahead. But don't complain about they're cheating on you. That's kind of like a blueprint. I mean, it's rare. If you find one, if you're disagreeing with me, then good for you. Find a rare one. But most of men are like that. The same thing goes with men. You're looking for a thick girl or a fit girl, a beautiful one, trophy wife, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
Stereotypically, those types of girls comes with price. And if you don't have this,
Yep.
then we have a problem. Then
Hmm.
why are you going for those types of people, which I just don't understand? And then you complain you can't find someone for you. I
Yep.
just don't understand how it works, you know? And
Well,
Yaya, thank you, Yaya. Thank you so much. What spitting game has basically become now in the US is how well can you bullshit and get women to believe you? Yeah,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that is basically what it is. How much can you just put out in BS and they like what it sounds like coming out of your mouth? That's what it is. A lot of them, a lot of times you ask me, know that it's not real. But a lot of women will dismiss the red flags on some man because of how he look and how good game he spits to her.
And Dwayne Pearson says, you talking about simps. That's another one that I probably wanted to talk about someday. If you want to talk about that with me, hit me up on my social media, guys. You
Yeah,
want to talk about that? You want to come back here, Escape Drinks? Please do come back.
about some simps. Oh yeah, I would love that.
Thank you, guys. And thank you, Yaya, for that. Thank you so, 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 so much. So, and also, one more thing is like for you, because earlier Yaya said something about spitting game, and we're talking about games. What is, if you can share with us, what is like the perfect game that you ever did for someone? If you have game, like how can you share that, and how can you kind of like let us imagine what is the game like?
I mean, imagine, you see the woman that looks like, the woman of your dreams, physically, not mentally, just physically. If you if you're riding the right car, right, and you got on the right pair of clothes, all you got to do is go up to her and tell her about everything that you could do, that you do, that you've been around the world, or you've been here, there. It is primarily about setting up the scene before you even started. If you have all of these materialistic assets, it's even easier for you to spit game. If you are very handsome, if you are on 9 and 10 on the scale of looks, if you're a supermodel look, it is very easy to spit game to women. You don't really have to try too much. It's just when you're like a 4 or 5, you're not spitting game anymore. You be considered creepy to them. So it's I really can't set anything up. I can't remember anything that I've ever done. I've done it before, but you don't remember because it's bullshit. So excuse my French. You don't remember any of this stuff that you say. You're just saying it at that moment because that's what you need to say. That's it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I, at least for me, I'm so proud of myself at till this point that sometimes I feel like most, but obviously there's mistakes from now and then, of course. But I would say most of the time, I can I can read if it's a game, you know. That's why I never, even though as much, and this is what I'm trying to kind of not advocate, is that the word advocate? That's too holy, that's too holy of a word, but kind of like advocate woman to kind of, if you wanted something, stay away from those people even as much as you want it, because woman likes bad guys. It's just stereotypical. That's what makes us. We want macho, and Black Gamer Romainer says that's called biology. Women want providers. And this is the word that I always kind of cringe when I hear it. I'm sorry, but high value men.
Mhm.
It's like another word that keeps rising up that I
Yeah.
feel like we're categorizing now men. It's like man is man, woman is woman. And it's like there's a lot of all these, like organization of where you fit in. But when you're finding a partner, it's just basically finding someone that both of you can make each other happy. So why are we trying to categorize people right now? I don't know. But it's just kind of
I,
like how I see it.
I think the reason is, well, first of all, uh, I see women, you guys are hypergamous. So you're always going to look for someone who's stronger, faster, bigger, and even more well to do, right? So you have all these things, and that's throughout life, throughout centuries, throughout decades. And I think women should practice hypergamy. You're always looking for the best guy to support you. There's nothing wrong with that. But what happens now with that high value man, that word that Kevin Samuels, if you've never seen any of his videos, go watch him. He made that very popular. And what he meant by that was a guy who had all the things that a woman wants: the 6 feet, 6 figure, more than six, big world down below, all those things, right? Most women want these things, regardless if they have them or not, or regardless if they can attain them or not. They want them. So men know that in order for you to be as high value as possible, you need to try to make as much money you can, try to get in as best shape as possible. You got to do all these things if you want a woman of the caliber that you're looking for, at least the attempt to have a woman of the caliber that you want. You have to make yourself more of a high value. It's just a statistical placeholder for this. It's just women in our country, they don't know about trying to make themselves as high value as possible as well. We got a lot of people, with a myriad of problems. Obesity rate is very high. Once again, I don't need a man and all this kind of stuff. So, guys, we know that we have to make ourselves as best as possible to get the best woman that we can.
So, talking about biology, I get
Hmm.
this. Like, I used to say this a lot. And I think this correlates to America the way that a lot of Black women supposedly is trying to gain domination with you guys, right? Is That's one of the arguments. And I think this is also happening in Japan. There's a lot of women out there that wants their husband to be submissive to them. They want to be the boss of the house. They want to be the decision making and all of that. And it's also happening in the Philippines. This has been happening, like for as long as I live, like this is happening. But at the same time, I'm just thinking, and this is my kind of pet peeve with a lot of women, is that you want your husband to be submissive to you. But at the same time, you complain that your man is not a man because you basically cut his basketball ball kind of thing, you know? So
Yep.
what I'm saying is this is one of my pet peeves when it comes to marriage is that sometimes I feel like a lot of women out there are not really knowing what they want. Like they're so, even with men, they're so filled with this social media crap of what's perfect and what's good and what's handsome and what's that they don't understand themselves what they really want. So up to this point, and you're live in Thailand, can you tell us how happy your dating life is, if that's possible? And how
Oh yeah.
kind of like this change, you traveling around the world, meeting a lot of women from around the world, kind of made you who you are right now. Can you say that to us?
Oh yeah. I tell people all the time when you leave America, any Western civilization, really, your eyes kind of open. That's kind of why we call it the Matrix, Escatrix. And you find that when you go to these other places like Thailand, like the Philippines, like Colombia, that you find ladies that are more in tune with what you used to see with your grandmother or even your mother. And not that these women are pushovers, that these women are what I tell people nice, they're friendly, they're understanding, they are more willing to work with you. They want to be by your side. They're not trying to be your enemy. They're not trying to, pull a false one over your face. Now, of course, you can find bad women and bad men anywhere, but all in all, when you go to some of these places, this is where you find some of the best women. I have to say that the dating in these countries have been magnificent. I actually have a date in a couple of days with a beautiful young woman here in Thailand as well. We have been talking for a while before. I've been knowing her for a couple of years. And who knows? The possibilities can be endless for me and her in the future. Only time will tell. But I love dating in other countries. It's just a beautiful thing, and to experience these ladies. It's so refreshing to talk to someone that has more of the qualities that you're looking for. And I find that a lot with women that I just come across daily in a place like Thailand, that you find more of your qualities and far more women here and in the Philippines and Colombia, in African countries as well, than you will back in the Western world. And I advocate for men. I don't care if you're from Japan. I don't care if you're from Bolivia, wherever you're from, to travel the world and to date and to experience the culture and the beauty of these countries and the other beautiful women that you'll meet in these countries. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. Your mic.
So the thing is, this has been like super, super nice to talk about this stuff. And there's a lot more questions because I love questions and conversations. But with that said, you said something that I actually also advocate a lot in my channel. And I would just put the word, because I think this is one of the things that I feel like a lot of streamers or a lot of people, just in general, life to life, I feel like a lot of us forget how to choose our words when we talk to people. But it's not about, like dating and life and like, finding someone. I always tell people to travel if you have the opportunity, not because of you finding someone or like having fun, because when I say fun in this channel they think being a SLUT, that's what they're thinking. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about that. I'm talking fun, like
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the moment. So don't put big things in my words. So what I'm saying is like find it, because for me, when you put out any person in a different culture, in a different country, their minds, their mentality, their mindset change. And it's either they don't want it. I've seen a lot of Japanese that didn't want it. They come back. And I've seen more Japanese that when they go outside Japan, they come back and they don't like their own culture. So just just in case you're too afraid to hate your culture, don't get out of the country. Just stay
And
there. That's what I'm saying, guys. But
I will
go
say
ahead.
this. I will say this. Sorry for cutting you off. There were plenty of Japanese people on the plane with me as well going to Thailand. So that's all I gotta say.
That's
Plenty of people as well.
no, the thing is in America, I've heard your retirement country or place is Puerto Rico, right? That's kind of
Yeah,
like, like white people
yeah.
kind of like they go there retire. In Japan, it's actually Thailand.
Oh,
They
okay.
retire in Thailand. So that's a thing. That's a very, 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 very big thing in here. Ayan. But there are people that usually come up in our live stream from time to time because they have like open mic and they wanted to be in the panel. And the thing is, I've asked for these people before and they didn't say yes. So stay down there. Don't go up here. Nah. So we're gonna just kind of like take a little break. A little break. You can drink water if you want. And if you have more time, let's see what they have questions for you about. And let's take a moment of that and answer questions from different people. Go ahead.
Uh, I hope so. I have about 10% left on my phone and it's charged up and it's still dying. So hopefully I'll be able to do that when we come back.
No, don't do that. So, for you, 100% true. And of course, Black Gamer Romainer, yeah, make sure to subscribe to Escape Tricks and tell him over and over again to come back here so you can talk to him. I'm pretty sure these two boys are single and they probably need, like some conversations with you as well. It would be a really, really nice topic. So 100% true and Black Gamer. I hope next time we can do that. But right now, we're not going to be able to do the panel thing. So maybe next time, let him come back, Ayan. And always, try to always go to his channel, tell him, come back to I See Fit, Ayan. Let me do that. But, okay. So last words for you, Ayan. So what do you think is the best thing for us who cannot understand the complexity and like the culture of black culture? What do you think we are going to like? What are the recommendations you can give us? Like, is there any recommendations to give us or channels that you want to promote in here that can help us understand black culture more in you guys' eyes?
Um, if you, well, first of all, I tell people the first thing that you need to do is be open minded to when you meet people that look like me, when you meet black people, and don't be so concerned with what you've seen on television with raps and movies and television news and things of that nature. That isn't always factual, and most of the time it's not factual. And what you would actually find out when you meet, especially a black guy like me. There's plenty of black guys like me out there in the world traveling. As far as channels that you would maybe want to go to, you would probably want to go to Kevin Samuels' channel. Rest in peace. We called him the Godfather. He's one of the guys that really got the manosphere jumping off. So you would probably want to see Kevin Samuels. Once again, from a woman's perspective, a woman that men like me that we would prefer, probably someone like Cher Charday, Gail Simone. You can also check out Crimson Cure. Like I said, that's another sister, as well as Obsidian Ali. That's probably another guy that you would like to see. They're all good brothers and sisters, and I love what they do, and that's who I would recommend you guys go check out.
And I know I have 9% of your battery. So I'm trying to like carry this up because I don't want to lose anything. Yes, yes. But I really hope you come back because I really like these kinds of topic. You're really, really nice dude and you seem to have a lot of information for a lot of people out there and of course, like a lot of life experiences that you can actually, like share with us. So any advices for all the passport bros out there, not just that, but to all
Mhm.
the people who are actually kind of like afraid to go out of their comfort zone?
Yeah. Number one, never be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone. Never fear the unexpected. Right now, I'm in Bangkok district. This is a district far from downtown because I wanted to try something new. More people here speak Thai than English by far. I was not afraid to come here and experience this. You can't let your fears deter you. And also, I would tell people don't let other people deter you. That's the biggest thing when it comes to traveling. You'll get so many people to tell you don't go to this place or don't go to that place, and they'll scare you out of actually living your life. Do not do that. You're going to have to take your own word for it, your mind, and go out there and seek knowledge. And wherever you go, seek out information about the culture, learn about the culture, the people, and their traditions of those countries, and respect all the laws of that country because you are not in your country anymore. You are a guest in another person's country. Remember those, and you'll be okay.
Aw. Thank you for saying that. You really like. I like when you say like learn their culture. You're not in their country because I'm pretty sure, and I want to go on and on, but I know I have to let you go. So please tell us what's going on with your life, and let us know the channel if you have any uploads that are fixed for days. I am. Please let us know. The floor is yours.
Yes, I am the Escapetrix on YouTube. That's TheEscapetrix. Escape the Matrix. Escapetrix. And yes, I do have some videos coming up soon. The first video I have is called Escaping the Matrix, which just entails me leaving my country, going back to my hometown. You can see that as well, which that's kind of frightening as well. And then after that, we'll just do videos on everyday life in Thailand, me going around, just living the life, like I said, learning the culture and eating some delicious Thai food as well. We got a lot coming. Just guys, you just watch out and wait and see what I got for you on the Escapetrix channel.
Aw, that's so nice. And last question. Let's give this 100% true saying. Do you think I'm feminine? They always
Dude,
ask.
do I think that Icy Fit is feminine? Oh, 100% yes. Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sad to hear that you're off the market. That's what I'm sad to hear.
Because I
Talk about
think, because I'm loud, I'm open minded, like I
mhm,
talk what I think. So I
yeah.
think there's this kind of like discussion whether I'm feminine or not because
Yeah.
I talk my brains out and I always try to have a conversation with you guys. I like to have like that kind of saucy stuff. But thank you. Yeah, she feminine. Oh, thank you, guys. I'm so happy. I'm not a guy. I'm not hafu. I'm not that. I'm a girl, guys. I'm a feminine. I am. Thank you, Escape Tricks, and I really, really wish you the best. Hopefully, if I go to Philippines, you'll be there as well. Hopefully, and see a lot of passport bros in there.
Yeah.
And please come to Japan. We're open. Please do.
Oh,
Please do enjoy our Japan and let me know if you're here. I'll tour you around if I can. If I can, but have to let me know first. But
yeah.
thank you so much. Enjoy. I hope you come back. And guys, please let him come back in this channel, guys. Thank you. Enjoy the
Thank,
night. Bye bye,
thank
guys.
you.
Say bye bye to Escape Tricks, guys. Bye bye. Ciao, ciao. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye. There, guys. Nor icy is hard. And sorry, Black Gamer and 100% true. If you cannot come up here, we're having like timing. But I hope like just DM me on my social media. Let's set it up. I want to talk to you guys as well. And Brett Glasso, thank you. Dwayne Pearson and Yaya. And thank you so much. Felipe G, you're there. Vash Music, Servo. Thank you so much, guys, for this wonderful time that you've given us. It's Thursday, I know. So tomorrow it's Friday, last day of work. And I hope I get to kind of like made you think of all the things that we've talked about. And if you really like him as well, please do subscribe to his channel. All the description links are in the box down below. Love him, support our community, all our community if you're a YouTuber. And again, please do get better next time. Most of Icy's streams are one on interviews. She does not really do open panels. Oh my God. No problem. Was a needed conversation. And thank you, Dwayne. So, guys, thank you so much. Another day, another successful live stream. And that's not going to happen without all of you guys. So thank you so much. And again, dahil sa channel na ito, see you again on Saturday. If you want to talk with me on screen, let me know. Channel na ito, kayo ang Bida! Bye-bye, guys. Love you all. Mwah, 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 mwah. Ciao, ciao.